I sure hope we can all understand that nobody wants to see people hurt, nobody wants to see people lose their lives. But you know what? This is what the fuck it's come to. Everybody loves to be all poetic and shit, so I can't give you the quotes because I'm getting older and a lot of the stuff that I used to be able to quote, I can't quote as freshly. In the Art of War, Sun Tzu said something about the best military position being with your back against the river and facing the enemy forward. So there's no retreat. So everybody literally has no choice but to give their all. You are in the most desperate of circumstances. There's nowhere to run. So necessity is the mother of invention. So you just may invent a new way to fight because you're so desperate, and those instincts and all that intelligence in your brain is coming together to channel, this is it, do or die. And in that same instinctual way that the cockroach scatters when the light comes on because it just senses danger, all of those subconscious instincts go survive in whatever lane of reality exists at that moment to keep you alive. Yeah, it means burning down police stations. It means saying fuck Target. It means destroying businesses. Who really gives a fuck? I'm so sick of seeing white people on social media say, why are they burning down their old neighborhoods? People have to work those jobs. Who gives a fuck about that? Is it really your neighborhood if the fucking authorities, the watchmen, if they can just ride down on you and kill you at any given moment? Listen, y'all, I got a stunning admission. I'm a very, very, very ghoulish guy. The earliest days of the internet, I was looking for the most violent of videos. I like good, well put together violent movies like Terminator, RoboCop, Total Recall, the first two Rambos. But let me tell you something. Seeing the end of somebody's real life, seeing this man knowing that his mother has been dead for 2 years, and he's on video calling out for his mother. Now let's go back to that Sun Tzu. When you are at your most desperate battle position. Now you think about this poor brother and his battle cry. There was no desperate move for offense. It was him going back in the womb. Back as a child when mother made everything better and made all the demons go away. That's what this poor man's life was reduced to. On video. In front of everyone. And yet, you can justify what you saw in that video in any way you're a psychopath. There's no two ways about it. One of the key, I could be getting mixed up with sociopathic behavior, but one of the key aspects is you can easily reconcile other people's suffering. So when you see that man being strangled to death, you see in his last seconds, and you're looking for, they're just doing that. Well, that might have been excessive, but the guy's a cop. He's just doing his job. Then there you go. You're a psychopath. Get help before you kill or hurt somebody that you care about. And to those white folks that don't give a shit, trust me, social engineering, baby. All your fears of the government is true. They are putting their foot on our throats. That's why you can't tell a Democrat from a Republican anymore. They're all corporate. They're all sold out. They're all class traders. Just like all of you who vote for the rich when your ass has been poor for 2-3 generations, sometimes longer. There's no reason for conservative thought. We don't need to conserve or preserve anything about this old America. This place is a fucking wreck. The old America is what got you to where you're at now, on the brink. This pandemic is sort of kind of like 9/11. 9/11 put Enron out of business because Enron was hustling, making people think they had more money than they actually had. So 9/11 brought about a stock market crash where they had to pay up and couldn't. So there you go. There's your Enron scandal. If 9/11 doesn't happen, they may have gotten away with that shit for more years than they actually did. Well, this pandemic has sort of revealed that America was on a shaky foundation. Signs. Back to that Minnesota collapse. Remember that Minnesota bridge collapse from about 10 or 15 years ago? I think one of the Pistons coach, Flip Saunders, may have been involved with that somehow, because I know he was a coach in Minnesota for a long time and lived there. That kind of shit shows you we have an infrastructure problem. You're taxed up the ass. You worried about it going to people on food stamps, but you don't worry about the fact that your bridges are collapsing. Your highways are terrible. They're tearing up your goddamn car that you're paying way too much money for on insurance. See? This place is a wreck. And you wonder why niggas pushed to the brink of burning shit down? Are you fucking kidding me? You better wake the fuck up. Some of you people so busy sucking that red, white, and blue dick, you don't know what country you really live in. I grew up in the 80s, and everybody sort of has a tether when they grow up when it comes to history. And with me, it was Vietnam. I remember watching Platoon. My mother was big into the Vietnam War. She lived through it. And Platoon was like the first movie that sort of blatantly talked about the Vietnam War and criticized it from a moral perspective because it was something that we as Americans didn't want to talk about. But now I can see and take a long step back. Because I'm so obsessed with history, particularly from the 1960s to now, I can see how everything that happened from 65 to 68 to 1970 and 71 on up led us to where the fuck we are now. If you want to paint Trump as the devil, because I don't, I think Trump's the guy who's going to drive us over the cliff, it looks like, but I don't think he didn't start this shit. This shit was a mess before. It was a mess under Bush. It was a mess under Clinton. The mess just sort of shifted lanes so nobody could tell heads from tails. So it's like, okay, the economy felt good right here, but let's say Reagan. The economy seemed to be good in the 80s, wink, wink, for the rich. But our reputation worldwide with the Iran-Contra scandal, not to mention how we did things between Iraq and Iran, that little proxy war they had going, we gave Saddam Hussein support against Iran because they were our enemies, and a lot of those weapons that Saddam ended up using on his own people were weapons that we gave him in support of him just 5-6 years prior. That's how he ended up getting the key to a fucking American city. Because he was a U.S. ally, just like Osama and the Mujahideen were U.S. allies back in the mid-80s. Shit, the Mujahideen, go back and look. The Mujahideen were Rambo's allies in Rambo 3 and 007's allies in Living Daylights. That go to show you how the Mujahideen was looked at favorably because they were in Afghanistan wearing the Russians down. Do you see how America was playing the whole world like a big-ass game of chess in the 80s? Then in the 90s, we think Clinton come along with all this peacetime shit, but no, he was fucking us up with these trade agreements that have now caused our jobs to drain and get shipped overseas in more numbers than they did back in the 70s and the 80s. Then Bush gave us these fucking skyrocketing. No, not only did we have a housing crisis in 2008, but remember, gas went up to like $4 a gallon. So not only were there no jobs out there, but the economy was in a crunch, but just driving around your fucking car to travel cost you more than it had in years ever. Record gas prices, $4 a gallon in late 2007. And Obama, it was a decade of decadence. But Obama was a middle-of-the-road guy. He did not get a lot done. He did not leave an imprint. 10 years, 15 years from now, you'll see Obama was not a very impactful president. And people like Obama, Jimmy Carter, they paved the way for these right-wing fucking revolutions like you saw with the Reagan 80s and now whatever the fuck this shit is with Trump. Because I was one of the people that said, relax, y'all. Nobody's voting Trump in this goddamn president. But you know what? America just keeps getting dumber and dumber every fucking year. It's idiocracy, it's overload. So, all bets are off. That whole Tea Party shit, that was fucking insane, and there's still residue left over from that. And then you can see the Democratic Party is completely fucking compromised at this point. Like, AOC was like about to go to war with Nancy Pelosi, and now she's out here calling her mama bear. We know that that's not the way. You don't go in there shaking hands with these bosses. You got to use the public. These people are going to these politicians and kneeling. They need to be kneeling to us. We are the fucking voter, and we are the ones that are being silenced. So that's why niggas is out here tearing shit the fuck up. Because amongst all that 40 years of insanity I just broke down for you, we got a over-militarized, insane police force all across America. These motherfuckers got military weapons, surplus weapons that the military don't need anymore for whatever reason, because wars are over or they use the shit and they don't need it. They're selling it off to civilian police forces. The civilian police forces looking like they got shit that's ready for war on foreign soil. This is, I can't sit with this. And the freedom loving, and it's funny. The greatest irony is that the right-wing motherfuckers who talk about we need our guns because we need to stave off an overthrow of the government are the same motherfuckers who always allowed unlimited spending on defense. So now these motherfuckers have created such high-tech weaponry bullshit that your little rifles and we basically as civilians need rocket launchers and AMPs, and we need fucking Terminator level technology to take on the government should the government turn hostile against us, which looks more possible now than ever due to the fact that it seems like everybody in Congress is profit driven. I don't think any of these people in Congress care about making this country better for the majority of voters. They want to make it more comfortable for the rich to get away with what they've been getting away with. And I see no reason why they're going to stop anytime soon unless this entire country wakes the fuck up and start burning shit up. Like my brothers and sisters that held the line in Minneapolis. Goddamn. I'm loving that fucking energy. I'm not even going to lie. Because let me tell you, they got a problem there. That cop shot that Australian lady and that other brother that was in the car with his fucking woman, and he had the gun and they just shot him it was on Facebook Live. That's fucking terrifying. And that's all right there in that same fucking area. So they got some problems down there. This shit's been boiling over. That Target denied those protesters water and milk for that tear gas. They denied them sales. And I understand that Target has a program that's set up with that local Minneapolis police department. So they are an ally to the police department. That was a strategic fucking target. Just like people bitching and complaining saying, hey, how come they not fucking up the police station? Well, they held the line and they finally got the police station. That's a strategic position captured. Good job, soldiers. This is where we at now, y'all. Ground fucking zero. Shit'll get off the goddamn pot. Talk to you later.